hiking is just like any exercise, and that you'll benefit greatly from warming up before you do it. But most hikers don't do it, and I absolutely understand why. You want to put your backpack on and just get going. But if you go through this workout that I'm going to teach you and that you can follow along to, and I guarantee you'll feel so much better, because we're working on mobilizing the most important joints for hiking and also activating a couple of key muscles that probably have gone to sleep for a lot longer than just you sitting in the car for a couple of hours. There's not going to be any rolling around on the grass in this. It's mainly just standing up, and all you'll need is a tree. And hopefully wherever you're hiking, you'll have one of those. The first thing we're going to do is we're just going to swing the leg, keep it nice and elastic, and let that leg just move freely in the hip joint. Now, I'm 100% sure that you've done this before. That's why we're starting out with it. But one more thing I want you to pay attention to is just squeezing the glute here as you pull this leg back behind you, and try and really tuck the pelvis in and keep the pelvis stable, and really just think about trying to swing only the leg and not the pelvis. That will help get you a better sense of what this exercise is designed to do, which is really just loosen the hips up and really feel that springiness and elasticness that really helps push us forward when we're hiking. You might feel that light sensation of stretch at the end of range of motion as you go into that, but mainly you just want to relax and let that leg swing nice and freely. Just go until you feel a sense of change in your body. And then we're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to have the feet facing forward now, and we're just swinging the leg across. And this one, you might really get a sense for the hip opening up on the outside here and the glute med, and just really let the weight of the leg swing like a pendulum each way. And rather than just driving the movement from this leg, feel what happens when you really press and pressure into the ground on this leg to help drive that momentum. Okay, now that we've loosened up the hips a little bit, we're going to get into activating some of those smaller muscles. And the first one is the tibialis anterior. So this is this muscle that runs down the front of the shin. When we get lots of tightness here, you tend to get shin splints. So if you've never trained this muscle before, keep in mind that a lot of what happens in hiking is below the knee. And if we're only training the calves, we're leaving a lot on the table, especially when it comes to deceleration and going downhill. So we're going to train the tibialis, but we're also going to activate it and warm it up with this drill. So lean against your tree. The further you are away with your feet, the harder this will be. So if you're just starting out, you can keep it closer. And all we're going to do is dig the heels into the ground and lift the toes. And by doing that and keeping the legs straight, we're going to be activating that tib ant, the tibialis anterior, and we're going to do about 25 reps here. Single leg version if you really want to take it to the next level. So down here we have the big chunky muscle in the gastrocnemius, but the lower part of the calf is also really important. This is the soleus. Some say it has the strongest pulling power of any muscle in the body. So we're going to activate that with this drill. This is a bent knee calf raise. We're going to stand about a meter away from a tree. We can lean in slightly. We're going to tuck the pelvis, drive the knees forward, and keeping that knee bend, we're going to press into the ground through the base of the big toe, and we're going to lift the heels, driving the heels upwards, and we should really start to feel some stretch and some activation in that soleus. And here we're going to go for 25 reps. Single leg version if you're an absolute savage. Okay, we're almost done with this warm up. I wanted to keep it short and sweet, but this last one is all about getting that hip extension. So we're going to lean into a tree, we're going to lift your leg backwards, and we're going to squeeze the butt. Now you could hold at that top position and get lots of activation, but just keep in mind what the pelvis is doing. If it's really dumping forward, we want to just tuck it a little bit, because we don't want to fake hip extension by just dumping the pelvis forward. So keep the ribs tucked slightly, and then we're just going to lift and squeeze the butt, because every step that we take, we want to be getting this femur behind the midline of the body, because that's what drives us forward. Now do as many reps of these exercises as you like. I like to just go by feeling, but if you need a prescription, let's say 25 on everything. Now, I don't expect you to pull up this video and go through it every single time before you go for a hike. And for that reason, I built this warm up into one of my lower body workouts in my new program that is called Elements 102. So the idea with going through this warm-up is that it becomes ingrained in you when you're doing it at least once or twice a week. And that way, when you go out on your next hike, you don't have to pull anything up for reference. It'll be stored in here, and you can spend 5 minutes warming up, and I guarantee you, your body will feel completely different. Might feel a little bit weird at first, but welcome to your new body. That's what it's supposed to feel like when you walk. So if this warm-up routine helps your body flow better and makes your hiking feel effortless, then we're just scratching the surface on what's possible for you and your body. And if this warm-up routine works for you, you're going to feel amazing from a full workout. If you want to see the full program of which this warm-up routine was taken from, check out this video where I go into more details on my new program, Elements 102.